We're running it back this morning. Partially because I want to get this deck maybe ready for tomorrow's challenge, but also I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's kind of a simple deck, nothing super new besides like one of Kirol. But for literal months, like we've been talking about testing this exact deck. If you missed it yesterday, we trophied with it, but we've been talking about testing Idyllic Grange with Emperor of Bones in like just kind of normal Orzhov Blink. And I finally got around to this idea because of the Rat King. So shout out Rat King, you did not end up making the deck. But the idea behind playing the Rat King is like you're gonna play a ton of fetch lands in an Idyllic Grange mana base of Orzhov. And so if you're playing a ton of fetch lands, maybe you play the Rat King, you accumulate some value, and then you like buy back Overlords and Solitudes and stuff. I've been playing a little bit with Rat King. I just don't really like the card very much in this meta, at least. Just very bad against Boros, Prowess, Affinity, Tron, Storm, Titan, which is like the whole metagame, so didn't end up performing very well. That being said, Idyllic Grange Emperor has been so powerful. It's like the ability to like double spell on turn 4, like where you go like Emperor, exile something, fetch, put a counter, buy back something, and then also like play a Phantom or an Ephemerate or a Fatal Push or a Phelia or an Overlord. Those turns have been crazy. And then also your ability to go like play Emperor, adapt Emperor, and then the next turn Grange on the Emperor for 0 mana is really really good. It's like both a speed play, a tempo play, if you will, and it's a value play, and it's just very very incidental because you just have. I've actually played 17 fetch lands. You have 17 fetch lands that get it. Now, of course, fetch lands are really really good because they can be perfect mana, or they could get you a basic land, or they could get you a surveil land, or now they could get you a Grange. So yeah, yesterday we were playing 16, and I ended up feeling like we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We had 11 fetchables. Felt just a little high. So I ended up going down for one more Arid base. I don't think I'd go any lower on fetchables than this, but happy enough to play just even an extra fetch lands because fetch lands are just so good. They're just so good when you can get a utility land or a surveil land. I also ended up cutting the third Damping Sphere for one Vexing Bauble. I just wanted to be a little bit better against Living End, specifically in Neoform. We did beat Living End for the trophy match, but the matchup seemed a little bit tough. I kind of would like a little bit more too. So I'm hoping that we can test a lot of matchups today and then get this deck ready for the challenge tomorrow. This is a very fast format. Is Kirol in the deck for value, or did I mention another reason? I guess you mean Kirol. Yeah, I mean, Kirol is a value card. That's kind of all it is, but it's Kirol is very good with Flickerwisp and Overlord and Solitude and Phelia and White Orchid Phantom and Emperor of Bones, and that's like the whole deck. And so I've been liking the first copy of Kirol in these like Solitude Ephemerate Phelia decks for a while, and okay, definitely gonna graveyard this with 3 Emperors in my hand. Perfect surveil, really. But what about blinking Witch Enchanter with Flickerwisp? Does the power of Grange beat that versatility? Yes! Yes, dude. Flickerwisp and Witch Enchanter is like the most overrated shit ever. So overrated. I think I am gonna get another Godless Shrine or a Godless Shrine here. It is so overrated. Is the White Orchid Phantom the best 2-drop blink target we could run in the slot? It's a little bit less about being the best and more about like let's just maybe not concede game 1 against Tron. And it's like you need to play 4 copies of White Orchid Phantom in your 75. So when you peel 2 of those into your main deck, that opens up 2 sideboard slots, which is really really nice, and it allows your sideboard plans to be a lot better. So we're probably playing against Storm here in round 1. I did go down a sphere. We still have a High Noon and 2 Damping Spheres along with some Duresses. And then you could dig for it kind of deep too. I love the Wisp play patterns more often than I'm just doing with it. Yeah, Flickerwisp Witch Enchanter, it's pretty overrated. It's fine. It's a fine play to make. It isn't like, in my opinion, this super duper powerful thing that I really feel like I'm missing out on if I'm not playing it. So this turn I'm hitting them for 9. So the Fatal Push also covers a Ral. Hopefully we can find a land for next turn. And I think that's maybe the biggest thing I miss with Wisp and Boggart Trawler is the inability to like find lands with Overlord. But Grange is really, really good. Grange is like ridiculous. And I'm happy enough to okay, let's grab Solitude first. The decks seemed very good yesterday. What's the upside for Duress over Inquisitors to Kozilek? Card in the Great Crater, Scape Shift, Ugin. Leyline Binding, maybe. Although I guess I'm not bringing it against Domain Zoo. I feel like there's a few other like against Control, it's better, and you bring it in against Control. Like the big idea of Duress to some extent, right, is that Goblin Charbelcher is also a big one. The big idea of the Duress is that we have a lot of creature removal in the main deck with the Sheoldred's Edict, the pushes, and the Solitudes, and there's a lot of matchups where these removal spells are not very good. Duress is good at all of these matchups, but it isn't the best. But with limited sideboard space, it allows us to play all of them. Okay, interesting. Sorry, I probably should have left the Trespasser in the yard to Emperor of Bones. 5, 8. I think if I see a if I can surveil into a Grange, or sorry, not a Grange, it has to be a fetch land, but I have a lot of fetch lands in the deck. We could win. My opponent is paying cost, but they have no mana. They drew a full 5 though. Let me know if you see the lethal here. It's pretty niche. Come on, fetch land. Interesting one. Damn it. So the lethal was pitch Solitude to itself, play Emperor of Bones, fetch land at the ready, and then we can go Solitude, Grange onto the Emperor, get in there. Instead, I have missed my land drop. So I think I'm just going to play a Graveyard Trespasser, exile the Reckless Impulse, use the Emperor to exile the Valakut Awakening, and hope my opponent can't beat a Solitude. Opponent's playing Storm. With a pretty bad draw. Was really hoping we'd find the fetch land though. I think that would have been a sick line. Like being able to turn 4 lethal sometimes with this deck is pretty cool, although pretty rare. They did draw a completely new hand with that Valakut Awakening, which is interesting that they kept. They have a Ruby Medallion. That's the start that they absolutely need here. They play a Pyretic Ritual with 5 cards left in their hand. Then they play an Artist Talent with 4 cards in hand, 2 mana floating. Then they have a little think. Unfortunately, they have a Metamorphose. You could always tell Metamorphose just takes a little bit longer to cast because of the hybrid mana. They discard a Ruby Medallion. I arrived, I missed yesterday. Why no Witch Enchanter's Trawlers? Idyllic Grange, which is insanely good in this deck. It is worth not playing. I feel very confident. It looked so good yesterday, and we were even like a fetch land away from winning the game on turn 4 against Storm because our deck is full of fetch lands and Granges. This last turn, you know. But you just need to play it all Plains mana base. All right, tough for them to have the double Metamorphose here. Definitely, you really need to have Metamorphoses in these spots usually to win on like turn or win with like 3 mana when you don't have it board. Yeah, I do think the morning crowd doesn't necessarily have the ability to stay around for the whole stream and maybe miss the trophy yesterday. If I don't own the Kirol, you could play another Trespasser, you could play another Wisp, you could play a Ketchamos. They hit a Ruby and a Mountain, so not too good over there. So they cannot be together. Yes, they cannot be together. You must, if you're gonna play the Granges, you must commit. You must commit and play an entirely Plains mana base. Maybe you could play one. Maybe you could play one Swamp, but I played the first Swamp before I played an MDFC. And it's also like if your deck is full of Surveil lands and Granges, your fetch lands are really, really good utility lands, and you can just play a bunch of them. We're playing 15. All right, they find a Past in Flames. I'm gonna go ahead and concede. My opponent's played pretty slow. But this is gonna kill me. Let's go to game 2. Let's keep the show on the road. going to bring in 2 Duress. I'm going to bring in High Noon. I'm going to bring in 2 Damping Sphere. I'm going to cut the White Orchid Phantoms. I'm going to cut the Graveyard Trespassers. I like that Solitude can be held up for 0 mana. We could play 1 Vexing Bauble, which stops Ral Ultimate. Oh, I guess the Ashiok's not that good. I can play 1 Vexing Bauble over 1 push. Anything else? This is okay. Yeah, we trophied our first and only league with this deck yesterday, which is why we're running it back. Also, Idyllic Orzhov rolls off the tongue way better than Grange Orzhov, and so for yesterday's title, I'd like to apologize. Is it not 13 fetch lands? 4 Flooded Strand, 4 Marsh Flats, 4 Windswept Heath. Oh, and 1 Airship. Sorry, it is 13. Have you bought airships yet? Did they brought in the airships? The air. So we have a bunch of fetch lands. So airships are very easy to proc, I believe. The airships are almost exclusively for the blink and control matchups. Why not Orzhov Grange? Say it out loud. Orzhov Grange or Idyllic Orzhov. Idyllic Orzhov rolls off the tongue so much better. Because at first you said 17. Sorry, the number are diminishing. Wait, hold on. Oh no, I submitted. It's pretty small. It's pretty small, but actually, I had joined the league queue with the wrong number of fetch lands. Let's just get the right list in there. Here, redo. Also, our opponent's playing super slow, so I don't necessarily mind. Keep it moving. Have I tested 3 Grange? It was too many. So that's a good part of this is that we were playing we just played the Leo combo deck, and that was also a Grange mana base. That deck did really well. Got second place in the challenge, and we had 3 Grange in that deck, and we had 3 Grange. And it did feel a little high. I did feel a little high, and I went down to 2 and was happy with 2. It's possible you could play 3. You could play 3. But I'm kind of going off of that testing that 2 has been feeling better, and it's also like in this deck, like the Granges are really good. It's not like we draw our second Grange and then all of a sudden our deck doesn't function. It's just like a speed and power level boost with specifically Emperor Bones. It also has extra utility, but it's not like we just fall apart without it. Misty Rainforest Steam Vents Channeler. Now, this could be something weird. It could. Sometimes Prowess plays blue fetch lands I don't understand. I need to Thoughtseize because of Quarry Steelcutter. And they do have a Quarry Steelcutter. They also have a Blood Moon, which is very, very hard to beat. I'm going to try to figure it out. I guess figuring it out is like get another basic plains here. Maybe they won't find land number 3. Minor problems if you only play 1 fetch, you want it to be the green one. Okay, all right. Echoing Deep's Windswept Heath. It's super duper minor. It's the kind of like deck building call that like I kind of hate to talk about because it is really boring. But you're right. They're graveyarding iteration here. I guess getting Delirium. Opponent's playing an interesting like Blue Moon. I don't know if I want to say Prowess. Like I guess just maybe Murktide with a Seal Cutter, main deck Blood Moon. So I'm going to play Marsh Flats to pretend like I have a swamp in my deck. Core is hard to beat. Is the moon kind of unbeatable? I don't know. If I have Phelia, I can blink the moon. If I have double white, I can cast Solitude and Kirol. I guess I'm just probably a bit too in on the black cards to be able to beat this moon. You're probably right. Quarry Steelcutter is also pretty unbeatable with this hand. They did have the 3rd land. I think the Blood Moon is more beatable, but neither are particularly beatable. You were right. The Boomerang basics is kind of throwing me off. I guess they're probably more of a Prowess build that they're playing this. Is there other stages with Grange and Emperor? No, I know. This is mostly Orzhov Blink. I mean, Grange is also like, you get to put a counter as an instant speed combat trick that like, is sometimes a protection spell from Flage, Granges are just good, but that's true. Kirol can be cast just through Blood Moon in general, but also just with 2 planes. So the Idyllic is Grange, not the tutor. Yes. Idyllic tutor is not a playable modern card. Probably, I guess, I don't know, their build is so weird. Okay, that's a great draw. Yeah, the swamp is kind of interesting. I don't know how much Blood Moon there really is. I don't know that there's enough to be all this worried about it. There is definitely some. Infernape with the 17 months. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. I've seen you cook up some garbage before. I believe that I do look tutor. Well, I'm sorry about my the garbage I cooked up before. Is it crazy to put one swamp on the sideboard? I don't. It's not crazy. We could. What the fuck? Now we can also draw Flickerwisp, and we can free some two emperors. They still have that boomerang basics in their hand. I don't know why people love this card. I guess it's probably coming from standard. One on top, one on bottom. Plays another channeler. They probably should have boomerang basics to replay their own channeler here. See, a basics talent prowess seems kind of good to me. I've played against it a bunch, and to me it's looked a lot worse. Like Stormchaser's talent's just a good bit worse than Swift Spear for the most part. That is what they're playing here with main deck Blood Moon. It's like, and they waited till they drew this to boomerang basics. It's like, and then this card is like, it's okay with bobble sometimes, but it is also just like, it's bad if there's not a talent or a bobble, which I think is kind of weird. But I don't know. I feel like people are playing it, so maybe there is something to it, but I don't know that the degree to which people play it is I don't know how warranted it is. You know what I mean? I think I need to attack here. You'd have both Swift Spear and Talent. So what are you cutting? Are you not playing Corey Steelcutter, Slickshot Show-Off, Channeler, Swift Spear, or are you just playing? You're playing five or 24 threats? Because usually, like I'm pretty, or sorry, not 24, 20 threats. I'm usually pretty comfortable with 16 threats as my prowess suite, but shaving some slick shots, I think. Yeah, I think you can't. I think slick shots unshavable, but yeah, I don't know. I just never cut it. But maybe I'm wrong. They fight it Unholy Heat. We are probably going to lose this one. The Wrathless guys can maybe clean up Blood Moons post board. It's a more flexible into the Flood Maul. I mean, I don't think into the Flood Maul is very good either. Okay, so I don't know if any of y'all are. I mean, I guess someone would have said something, but I don't know if any of y'all have been playing the card. But I am curious how it plays. Do I want this? I think I just want this untapped now. Okay. I was dead. I think I was dead to this last. No, I would have gotten one. All right, we have been Blood Mooned. All right, so I'm gonna bring in the High Noon. I'm gonna bring in the Duresses. I'm gonna bring in the Sweepers. I'm gonna cut the Phantoms. I'm gonna cut the Wisps. Edict does seem good bit worse against the talent package compared to maybe a more normal build. I think we'll bring in the Vexy Bobble also. I think I need all the discards, and Steel Cutter and Blood Moon are just so scary. I think I'm okay to trip a Phelia, maybe also trip an Emperor. Well, Phelia is castable through Moon. Could go down an Ephemerate. I think if we're trimming anything, it needs to be black cards. Alright, maybe down to Emperor. Yeah, we had some small changes from yesterday. +1 fetch land and like some small cyber changes. Been playing Boomerang Basics a lot. Very good into Song of Creation combo. Oh, in Song of Creation combo. Yeah, I think it's good there. I agree. This seems good there. Do you need all these discard spells? I just said this, but because of Corey Steelcutter and Blood Moon, yes, I need all these discard spells. Like it used to be that you wanted to cut Thoughtseize against Prowess, and then they printed Corey Steelcutter. Alright, I'm gonna keep the 7. Think I'm probably comfortable to play Surveillance turn 1. Yeah. Don't really want to cast Thoughtseize turn 1 because of the Steel Cutter. Binks with the 51, appreciate you. They do keep a card on top, so if that's Steel Cutter, then we get got. Second Thoughtseize is funny. So the plan is going to be Godless Shrine or Surveil Land into Thoughtseizing, then get my other basic planes. And if they do find another Blood Moon after I Thoughtseize this one, I do have Wrath Disguise in this time. Where does Blood Moon main deck in Prowess rank on a scale from normal to goofy? Pretty goofy, I think. Okay, they did keep a card on top, and then they didn't cast anything, so I think they have something that's good to Thoughtseize. So let's keep it. Pretty rare. I will say like Prowess is very weak to Titan, and so this is like an angle against that. Okay, they kept a Lightning Bolt on top, which is like a little deranged. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and take a bunch of damage, but I think getting the bolts out of their hand and like kind of making this card advantage is then they just okay, interesting. I would have thought for sure. I would have double bolted immediately. Maybe it's just good that they thought about it. So there's a Lightning Bolt and 3 lands and a mystery card. They play the Islet. I'm going to wait on this Marsh Flats, of course. And let's go ahead and take the 2-for-1 with the Bolt. Although it's not the best 2-for-1 in the world, right? Since... Oh, wait, we can Grange. Grange is a little bit risky because of... Blood Moon number 2, but I just have to take it. To be honest, I keep the bolts. I mean, it's interesting. I feel like I'm snapping them off, but they discard the basic island, so maybe they only have 1 Blood Moon. Don't know if that makes sense. This is a pretty fun play, though. They might play 2 islands. I've actually seen Prowess with 2 islands before. Yeah, I agree. Keeping the second bolt on top there is really, really poor play. Though there's like no chance. How would you analyze a card like Sheoldred's Edict versus Riveteer's Charm? Charm is 3 mana, but way more versatile. Is Edict being 2 mana super important if your deck can easily support Charm? I guess I could say that it depends somewhat on the rest of your mana curve. This modern format is so stupid fast right now. I don't know if people even really realize that this is just like modern has just gotten a lot faster. There's a lot of Storm, there's a lot of Prowess, there's a lot of Affinity, there's a lot of Boros, there's a lot of Titan, or not, maybe not a lot, but there's a good amount of Titan. Living End is living ending you on turn 3, which isn't killing you super fast, but like we've moved away from the Blink metagame, even though I'm playing Blink right now. We've moved away from this, and the format has gotten faster because of it. Okay, so 3rd bolt so that they can flip the Trespasser. Kind of funny that this is not a creature for me to eat with the Trespasser. I'm going to push it now though, so that I don't flip my Trespasser back when if I don't draw anything. Or sorry, that I can flip my Trespasser back. So just like if your interaction just needs to be really cheap right now. I do like Riveteer's Charm though. I think that the card is not like super dismissible. I think it's cool that it's like draw 3, graveyard hate, and removal, but it's just not very efficient in general. So we have 2-turn clock with the graveyard glutton, double push. Finally some food. Do they have a 4th land to buy the bolt back? They surgical fatal push, which is good here, I suppose. Then they keep a card on top. Now, I'll say this, chat. If you're going to surgical fatal push, you probably want to do it before you play your 1-mana creature. That's just good deck building. Or sorry, not deck building, sequencing. I tried to build Fiddlebender sewer camera, and I didn't really like where I was going with it. All right, so we're on the draw for game 3. Why not surveil you at 2 o'clock anyways? Blood Moon makes me really want to be able to get my second plane so I can Wrath the Skies or Solitude. But I think we're just kind of chilling. Like, if they do nothing, I feel like I could just save the utility of the fetch, maybe. Definitely gonna keep this. This is the hand where I'd really like to be able to get double planes so that I'm able to Wrath away a Blood Moon. We'll see. My opponent's on a multi 6, they're on the play. So it probably means that I'm not gonna be fetch shocking, right? So I can get that planes. Although I guess it is a little bit of an issue that, like, if I surveil on one and then they Blood Moon me turn 3, I'm like, I can't, I'm kind of cooked. So maybe I could go planes, but then I think I have to surveil. Do I want 4th lands? A little bit. I think we can graveyard it, though. One nice thing about planes is I could Wrath next turn if they play like Corey, Steelcutter, Bobble. But the problem with that, of course, is that's not like really doing a lot against Blood Moon. Although we'll probably go Wrath both tokens away this turn. Could possibly wait a turn. We'll see what we draw. I'm down to 17. Another Backstreet. No, there's nothing wrong with taking the Backstreets. You never know if you don't go. Alright. They had Blood Moon the first 2 games. How could they have it again? Perfect logic. Tank. Second Island Blood Moon. Well. We need a Phelia, I suppose. Into Steelcutter? Alright, let's back it in. Tough batch. Last seen 17 days ago on an unnamed. Ooh, cool. I think I'm happy enough to graveyard this for Emperor since we already have an Overlord in hand. Seems like they are playing this. Oh wait, hold on. Well, if they have, I don't. Is there a Katria Triome here? Okay, if they are playing this, they've switched their mana. I think I'm probably gonna go Phantom this turn into Thoughtseize plus Phelia to try to make some room here. Yeah, they also weren't playing an island. Okay, so they maybe are still playing a Scape Shift build, but I don't think it's gonna be this build. Then they flare the Phantom. Interesting. Interesting that they cared about the Phantom so much when they seemingly are a deck with a bunch of basics. They get 2 more islands here. Maybe they care about this mana, the mana fixing of Triome. They have so there's the other island in hand from the Flare, and then Wistfulness. We'll go and take the 5 mana 3 for 1. Actually, you know, it was probably better to just main phase the Phelia because of counter magic. If they have removal, they're going to be able to get the Phelia anyways. So we need to dodge Escape Shift for a little bit. I'm a little bit interested in getting back the Phantom and blinking it here. I feel like they could kind of easily be out of basics. I think I'll also counter on the Phelia, so then it'll be out of bolt range this turn. And we can blink the Overlord next turn. But they fought over this, you know, they clearly care about it. I don't know how many more basics they could be playing because they've double flared. So there's at least one more. And at the very least, like, knowing how many basics they are could also be valuable for game 3. It's not irrelevant. Alright, so they're out now. Now we are... Yeah, we are dead to Landscape Shift, and they do keep a card on top here. Okay, cool to see this card. I tested Lessons from Life over the weekend. I did not care for it. Did not think it was testing very well, but I'm glad to see my opponents trying it out. So they put a Stomping Ground into play. They might be afraid of playing the Valakut from their hand. Yeah, they are. Okay, so now I have to blink the Overlord so I can buy the Phelia back. Have I tried the Metallic Mimic Grist combo yet? So I started to work around with Metallic Mimic or Grim Gully or First Day of Class, and I quickly like started to be like, what the hell am I doing? This is I really started to be like, why am I doing this? This is just not it's just not working. It's not coming close to working. I was getting a little doom or gloom about it, so moved on a bit. I guess I'm gonna play this even though I have to keep the Overlord in mind. And so I just kind of moved on after like just like every like draft of a deck. It just was like embarrassing, unfortunately. We have lethal next turn with the other Grange, so I think we can afford to get the Phelia. Although maybe another Emperor, maybe Emperor's just better anyways. Yeah, I guess Emperor would have just been better. Okay, well, bailed out. We even can Emperor through Lightning Bolt here, which is fun. Because if they bolt the Emperor in response to the or anytime we can adapt it and then we can still exile the Overlord and then we can still Grange. I guess that they could respond to the adapt. I guess that would work. Okay, so we want the Ashiok, we want the Duresses. Vexing Bauble stops flares. Maybe that's a little narrow. They play a lot of basics, and so I don't know that I like these Phantoms. Like, the Phantoms are kind of interesting. Because my opponent is maybe a little mountain light. We might be able to get them off of mountains. They also get a lot of mountains out of the deck really fast. I think I'm gonna cut all the Solitudes. I think we're bringing the Airships too. They're pretty slow, but they are kind of a control deck. Maybe I'll play like one Airship. I think the pushes are like okay. They just play like a lot of little creatures, which are 2 for 1s. We just get them off the field for speed. Yeah, I guess they are playing 8 flares. Okay, let's do this. This is my draft. You want to look? It has Unearth combo, Grand Fate Stitcher. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. I didn't have this draft or anything, but like my drafts, and they all look this bad. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it'll play better than it looks, but they just don't look very good. This probably is better than anything I had for whatever that's worth. Hmm. We're on the draw with a great one-lander. What's the combo with Grist to Mimic? If you Cauldron to Grist, you could mill your whole deck with a Mimic, which it is interesting. I do think that build looked better than anything I had, but I was just kind of despairing. Again, I want to keep this. This is the best card of my deck. I've got double discard spell. I'm on the draw. I took from an old brew of yours a new sewer combo. I'm really off sewer combo. I okay. This is Skrelv. Yeah, I had a draft similar to this. I don't think I'd play this card. It's kind of interesting. I did start to build this, and it was also another deck that I'm just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? So one of these I just kind of moved on from, unfortunately. Despite I agree it's cool, but like sewer combo's just been testing poorly, and it's not like Fiddlebender has ever been this like super powerful thing to be doing. I'm gonna Thoughtseize the Flare. Thoughts on just throwing Leo in scales? Really uninterested. This happens sometimes when I'll brew with a card and like do well with it. Like people will try to throw Leo into other shells, like Dingo played Leo and Brood Scale. To be fair, he trophied with the deck. But for me, I am like completely uninterested in registering Leo in any deck that does not have Onslaught Pride and Guide of Souls. For me, the biggest part of like the Leo combo being interesting is that Leo is also a really good threat with some like utility to reusing ETB creatures, and you just don't have that. You just don't have that in scale, so you don't have that in Brood Scale. And at that point, it's just like I think it's uninteresting to me. And we do have the Sephiroth Brood Scale as the backup today, actually, but I don't think it makes that much sense. Like Sephiroth would be better in scales. Sephiroth could be kind of good in scales. The thing is, you'd have to build like the thing with scales is when anytime you have a non artifact scale creature, it's really awful. I'm gonna go ahead and Emperor this turn because my opponent has Snare, but they don't have blue mana up. Which Leo are we talking about? The one that draws. The 2-mana Leo that has lifelink. Whenever you gain life, put a counter on it. We got second place in a challenge a couple weeks ago, using that in a if you Cauldron a Ballista onto it, you win the game. So they still have the Snare. Hopefully this resolves. They'll probably sack the Relic if they don't have an answer here. Reminder, Phantom does not combo with Ashiok. This is spells and abilities your opponent controls. I like shoving Leo, Combo, and Guide Pride in the Soul Trader deck. What is the Soul Trader deck, I wonder? How often does Edict come up against a deck like Neobrand? Somewhat often. It's kind of an unreliable interaction, but it's kind of high variance, but when it is sometimes just like the best possible. Maybe I should be playing the Phantom into the Snare first. Oh, brutal for my opponent. They just drew this. I'm assuming that they would kill the Ashiok. So they hit a Wooded Foothills into play, not doing a lot with the Ashiok. So I'm a little bit interested in playing Kirol before the Phantom. One, because of Snare, but also just because the ability to copy the Phantom ability. That being said, it'd be kind of hard to do that through the Snare. Oh, Soul Trader. I thought we were talking about Soul Herder for some reason. Looks good. Yeah, the Spymaster's Vault's a cool overlap too. Looks good. You know, I did forget about Wistfulness. What the fuck? Battle of Frost and Fire. 4 damage to each non-giant creature and each planeswalker. Ashiok stays alive. Scry 3, whenever you cast a spell, mana value 5 or greater, draw 2, then discard a card. I guess I should probably upkeep the Ephemerate, and then the rebound will mess with their scry. Light it minus Ashiok. Spike getting the Purious Pike and Spike. Who do you think I am? You think I would play a card like this? This is not me, chat. How dare you? I don't put cards like this in decks. Okay, what is the most Battle of Frost and Fire S card I've ever put in a deck? I have not put random shitty 5-drop in a deck and call it a brew. I'm better than that. I hold myself to a higher standard. I could reset the loyalty on Ashiok, but it comes at the cost of unlocking the foothills. Alright, so we'll see if they can play a 5-drop. It's basically just Wistfulness, though, right? And let them draw 2 and discard a card. Was I ever a Showdown of the Scalds gamer? I've played Showdown of the Scalds, but that's also like just a kind of a stock Boros card. Or it was for a while. Also 4 mana. Pretty different than 5. Looks like they have something. Maybe this is Green Sun? No, it is Wistfulness. Did I play Liliana? Okay, I did. That's true. I did play that Liliana. It was really the best one, but true. That one is probably the closest I've ever played. Yeah, they do play a lot of basics. They're playing their Flare of Cultivation deck though. Untapped Steam Vents is something I should have played around because now they have Snare up. So I guess we're gonna block with the Wistfulness and then Ephemerate the Phantom. Or maybe I want to do that so I can resolve the Phelia, but maybe resolving Phelia is not that interesting. No, I think it is interesting so I can double block the Wistfulness and kill the Wistfulness with the Grange. No shot, dude. What the hell? Yeah, we did 5-0 with Onyx, but that's true. I mean, it's very close to this. They snapped it off, dude. I would argue Titania is on that level. That's it, though. I disagree, but it is a 5-drop. It's also like a Court of Calling combo target rather than like I'm talking about. I don't put 5 mana shitty value card and call it a brew. That's where I draw the line. That's where I draw the line. I am not. Let's put this random. I've never done something like this. I'm not trying to shit talk my opponent, but Vestige, the Eldrazi Temple format, dude. Cards cost 2 mana. What'd you do for donation? I've had no dono decks for years now. Wait, they have Snare in their hand and they let this resolve. What is happening? I'm gonna blink the Ashiok. Oh, this is really bad against Consign. Maybe that's why they let it resolve. Okay, I'll blink the Phantom. They can get a basic mountain here. Wait, you have a removal spell? So they have a removal spell for the Ashiok? And that's why they flared? Okay. So we're gonna get untapped scape shifted. We've killed only 1 mountain so far somehow. Oh, it's 2. There's 1, the Stomping Ground in exile. They discarded the Snare earlier. Oh, sorry, I missed that. They discarded it to Wistfulness. They sacked the Stomping Ground. That's a good point. I think I'm enchanted with the wheel. Oh no, I'm not because the Ashiok went to the graveyard. So they're enchanted with the wheel, which is why they sacked the Stomping Ground. Game 3. I think I'm gonna play how bad is Wistfulness for me? I feel like it's not that bad. It is a little annoying. Play 2 Edict, 2 push, I guess. Yeah, I thought I was the hero deck. Been a while since I've seen Escape Shift 1. I think it's been since we played against this opponent. They're like a Escape Shift main. And they are playing some cool cards. I'm not trying to shit talk them, but I just feel like it's a different style, you know, different style than mine. I have to protect my professional integrity. Frost and Fire is coming around to me. It's not as bad as we're making it out to be. I feel like yes, it definitely is. Like this is I don't know how you land on play 5 mana sweeper in like the Boros Prowess Affinity format. It doesn't even kill Kappa Cannoneer. Does kill Scion of Draco. Definitely gonna keep this. Looking for a 3rd land, I suppose. So they're representing Spell Snare. I think I am okay getting snared. And then I can go Thoughtseize Overlord, buy back the Phelia on turn 3. So I think they have Ice Fang Flare. So they have Coiling Oracle Flare. I don't know why they didn't decide to play Coiling Oracle here. And they also decided not to Spell Snare my Phelia. Dude, they could have played Coiling Oracle and had 2 flares up. And then I would have been like, I can't believe they had 2. I can't believe they had two flares here for my Thoughtseize. And I didn't choose the Fatal Push instead. Well, I guess maybe I would have just chosen the Fatal Push instead. Yeah, it seems like an oopsie F6, I agree. We've all been there. They drew bolts. Okay, pretty good. I guess I should have attacked first. Attack first, buy back Phelia, then Surveil. Although I think I'm just going to play Emperor Bone so I have lethal next turn. Could have maybe chosen to play Emperor main phase 1, so if I find a Grange, then I can throw an Overlord and like a Graveyard Trespasser at them. It's probably a bit better. Phelia plays around Fire Ice. What? Just that they could Fire Ice main phase. Fair enough. Bailed out. Oh, Frosted Fire, yeah. Alright, GG to our opponents. Very weird set of matches here. Blood Moon, Boomerang Basics Prowess into Escape Shift, and I will take it. I will take it over 5 Boros opponents in a row like we had yesterday. Triggers Emperor Bones. Alright, let's keep this. I think we're just going to put back the Kirol since we just want to go Overlord into Wisp. I think the Solitude's a bit better to keep. Yeah, I think the card's interesting. Flips image through Sorin. It's true. I guess a Thundering Falls. We just graveyard this, though maybe we just buy it back. Also, it's a white card. Seems bad, but no deck wants it. Yeah. Or seems not bad, but no deck wants it. I guess I'll take a second Wisp because I have a second Overlord. No, I think I'll take Phelia so that I could go Wisp this next turn and then maybe Overlord plus Phelia the following turn. Obviously, we're in good shape here. Even if they, like, Corey Steelcutter. Thundering Falls, Stomping Ground. The weirdness continues. Although maybe they're just prowess. I guess they're just prowess still. Let's hold on to. Well, I guess do I? I guess I don't want to hold on to Solitude. I just want to buy Solitude back. I think this makes almost a creatureless list for Bard Burn. The thing with Burn and like the I think the only way you're having success is if you are playing a good bit of creatures. Like this is the Guide of Souls, Flage, Ocelot Pride format. You know what I mean? It's just not like it's not the format where you get to blank all of your opponent's removal spells, and then that's a good dynamic for some reason. Yeah, I think that now I'll take the Wisp so I can like kind of block a little bit more comfortably than Overlord Wisp again. I'm kind of leaning towards this deck at the challenge tomorrow. We trophied with it yesterday. We did lose to Blood Moon Prowess, but besides that, that's been our only loss. Like we trophied with Burn. Was it this year? I guess it was last year. But like late last year. But we were playing main deck May and main deck Bowmaster and main deck Eidolon and main deck Rolling Vortex and main deck Flage. Like we were very like we were more of like a like Burn taxes deck, right? I think that's the kind of style you have to play. You also need to play Flage, Arena of Glory in all of your Burn builds. They have Dart for the Wisp. They have Bolt for the Wisp. So if they Sid with both immediately, okay, thankfully not, but was a little bit scared of mutagenic growth here. I disagree. I think you can edge a ton of decks via blanking the removal. Name one. I guess I'll just do this now so that I don't gain them too much life. I had one Ketchermos when I was testing this deck off stream. I ended up liking. I had one Ketchermos, one Kirol, one Trespasser. I ended up liking Trespasser and Kirol more. Can I die here? They have Violent Urge. This is 10. They put the Violent Urge. I think I might be dead to Violent Urge anyways. Been playing any non-MTG games on stream? Just the game that I've been designing. Played it last night. I also played Resident Evil 9. So they have a Bolt. I'm down to 6 now. Corey Steelcutter. So good. If only I had Emperor in hand already. I think I attack and I get Wisp and I just like untap the Overlord here with and hold up Fatal Push. And then I grab Emperor. I guess I should have Granged first, so maybe -1 damage here. Could also have held the Grange for possibly next turn. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. This was dumb. This was dumb. So I'm dead to another Bolt or another Dart. Oh, am I dead to just the first dart on the Wisp? I guess I am. But they didn't do it. Okay. Okay. Down a game against Prowess here. High Noon, Wrath, Pest Control, Duress. I think I'll bring in the Vexing Bauble again. Cut the Phantoms, cut the Ephemerate, or cut the Wisps, cut the Kirol, cut the Edicts, I think. Oh, maybe Edict is a bit better against this build, yeah. Down one Phelia, down one Emperor, and then I had this sideboard plan, but I'm now +1 Vexing Bauble. Maybe I'm down an Overlord. Thanks for the game. On second turn, a Mystic Oracle for Ice Wing. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, that was definitely a tough mistake. I knew something happened there. I guess we'll lead on the Strand because they're not guaranteed to play a creature turn 1. I think I might end up surveilling in Solitude no matter what, actually, so I can just buy Solitude back with Overlord. Let's see what they do. They play a Channeler. Yeah, I think I want to play the Overlord and I want to make sure I have something to get back, so let's just Solitude here. And then hopefully we can find some juice for the Overlord. We do. We find juice for the Emperor. We find an Overlord. Can hopefully like surveil into a Grange next turn. They do have a Steel Cutter, and they do have a Bauble, which is so good, so good, sir, so good. Getting hit for 2 down to 15. We find an Ephemerate, which is interesting. Don't really think I can. I'm wanting to play the Overlord this turn. I think I'm going to be wanting to buy a little bit of time with Fatal Push, try to surveil into another Grange, go for Emperor Overlord off the Grange next turn, which will give me enough mana to also Solitude Ephemerate. That being said, my opponent has a second copy of Corey's Steel Cutter, and even if we do all that, like, and a second Bauble, even if we do all this, I don't even actually know that we are gonna be good, dude. It's wild that this card was a standard card. Okay, I really need the Grange, I think. Ideally fetch land, not Grange, I suppose. High Noon. So the thing about this High Noon is that it's my only white card for Solitude. I think I'll High Noon this turn, Solitude next turn. Solitude Ephemerate is great. Is it? One, it's bad if they have a removal spell, but two, it kind of just doesn't. It doesn't do it if my opponent just had. If my opponent could just, I can get rid of 3 creatures, but then they're making 2 more tokens every single turn. So I feel like I have to play the High Noon here, which does, of course, turn off the Steel Cutter. Yeah, and exactly. They're almost guaranteed to double spell this next turn. Maybe we should be playing more than one High Noon. It is like a miracle draw here. Emperor, wait for fetch, Solitude Ephemerate. I think wait for fetch. I feel like this line is so weak to any removal that they're pretty likely to have. And this, I think the line is like clearly play this High Noon. They should have also equipped the Corey Steel Cutter probably. Yeah, I should have waited, and then they missed it too. They found it this time. So I'm dead to Bolt, although they play Bauble. Do I chump block and still take 2 damage to not be dead to Bolt? I'm kind of dead to. Well, I guess I'm not dead to Bolt anyways because this comes online. Yeah, I think they're very likely to have Bolt. I think we should. So I think I want to target the Solitude this turn. They surgical my Solitudes in response, and that's their one spell this turn. Interesting. Might as well adapt here, right? I'm sure that was a little bit of a late comment, but yeah, my plan was to go fetch Grange, target the Emperor, and then if my opponent bolts, then I respond to the bolt with adapt. Does that make sense? And then this way we guarantee the Solitude, even through a bolt. Now they had surgical, so that kind of all went out the window, as it were. So this will put me down to 3. Oh, sorry, it puts me exactly dead. Sorry. Cracking the fetch still kills me. I guess I needed the double block to play around that. Tough stuff. Maybe I'll pivot over to the back of deck. I do like this deck. Maybe you will still play in the challenge tomorrow. But I feel like I'm kind of feeling like pivoting. This one also has got some promise. So last week we were really into Super Shredder plus Sephiroth. I started to build this deck, and then I ended